Hi everybody, this is Racquel Palmese, and happy Wisdom Wednesday. I'm very glad to be here with you. We are basically born into conflict, into disharmony. We fight our way into life, into breath. And from the very first time when we're really, really small, and we say, no fair, it's not fair, we begin to program ourselves into living in conflict with others and with ourselves. I hear all the time from people, I just wish I could be in harmony with life. And what does that mean? How do we get there? Is it even possible? So when you experience singers getting together, a bunch of different people, different voices, and all of a sudden the music starts playing, and they begin to sing together. They begin to harmonize. All these different people, all these different voices, almost magically find a bridge towards each other and a harmonic that works. And the more they get into it, the more beautiful and sometimes more sophisticated their harmonies can become. In fact, you can have many levels of different voices all harmonizing with each other in different ways. But coming from the beginning, like an orchestra warming up with all their different sounds and notes and everything, and suddenly the conductor gets up there and begins. And instantly, these musicians begin to play together instead of separately. How do we find the harmony in our lives with all the disparate pieces of our lives? How do we incorporate the whole life into a harmonic that works, that feels good and looks good and sounds good? You feel it in yourselves right now. All the parts of you, all the experiences of you. All the different people that you are in any given day. And often, these different parts of you, whether they be personas or aspects of yourself, more often than not, they're not working together. And more often than not, they're actually in a fight with each other. We are born into conflict. We're conditioned to be. We're kind of conditioned to evolve and grow by fighting. We have to overcome hardships. We have to grow muscles. We have to be working against something in order to evolve, to grow. Or at least that's how we're taught to believe. And yes, some of that is true. But learning itself is much easier when we're not making it wrong, when we're not in disharmony, supposing with our mathematics class that we're supposed to take. When we're in disharmony with an aspect of life, we kind of stay there. We stay in the fight with it. And we don't realize that's what we're doing. We will come into judgment of other people. Even if we love them, we're judging them. We're not synchronizing with them. We're not aligning with them sometimes. Those times that we feel we're in harmony with our loved ones, with our friends, with our children, our parents, with our lives, feel like gifts because we're not used to it. We're used to trying to overcome the disharmony always. When you think of being in alignment, when you embrace alignment and synchronicity, rather than coming up against, you begin to feel all the musicians in your orchestra reading the same music, tailored to each one of them, so they all have their own part, and the master conductor is conducting. And each individual member of that orchestra is playing exactly what she knows her part to be, and completely mindful of everyone else in the orchestra. How do we apply that to life? How do we find harmony in the natural disharmony of life? Life is sloppy, often. Things have to get messy, or we're not living. We're just trying to control everything. So the first aspect of coming into harmony with life is actually embracing the disharmony of it, not getting freaked out when the instruments aren't playing together, when life feels like it's a million different pieces and I'm chasing each one of them and I'm not anywhere, is actually embracing the messiness, relaxing into it. So much more gets done when we're not fighting. Embracing the disharmony, listening to all the instruments of ourselves, like playing their own thing. All our friends sometimes feel like they're foreign to us. Okay, let it be. Creation itself is a messy affair. This form of creation, we humans that live here, we know that we were not born to, by any measure, be perfect anythings. We are born to grow and evolve and have an experience of real life, which means experiencing the messiness of life, the disharmony of life, and not being in a fight or making any of it wrong. That is the first thing. we get a new job. We notice, because we're strangers to the culture of it, we notice that everybody seems completely like irrational, like nobody's working together, like what's going on here? The people that work there may not notice that so much because they have formed their own sort of harmonic together that works for them. And until you walk into that job and don't see it just for its messiness, but really listen and observe and witness that there is a harmony going on there that may be a little messy, but works somehow. If it doesn't, and if you want to fix it, first you have to embrace what is, the people themselves, the idea of what the business is. We have to witness people trying. We have to have a willingness to align with what is before we make it wrong and think that we can fix anything, because we can't unless we're able to thrive in the disharmony itself. It won't happen. So if you have children and they're running around, and you know this as parents, their harmony looks like disharmony, if anything. But so often, they have a whole system going that we don't understand because we're too busy trying to clean up after them or trying to get them organized or something. And we will break into the harmonic that they have synchronized together. They'll say, yeah, but. And until we can actually take the time to observe them, be with them, and you know this, you know the difference, to really listen, to observe deeply, until whatever that harmonic, that synchronicity is that they are playing in, we'll just make them wrong and bust into their creative force. So how do you take a nice long breath and feel everything in your body falling into place using your breath, relaxing, allowing the different forces and energies within you to breathe with you instead of you trying to change everything. Feel your nervous system relaxing, coming into harmony with your breath. You can feel the chaos sometimes of all that's going on in you just physically. And the worry that can set up, and the anxiety that can live, and the hormone release that kind of everything. And take a moment. Take it with me right now. The breath. Allow all those energies within you to harmonize. feel the orchestra start playing. Feel the voices syncing together. It's a beautiful thing. Feel your body relaxing and releasing the stress, the anxiety, the stories that propagate the disharmony, the agitation. There's nothing wrong with the disharmony. It needs to be there so that we can learn to harmonize it. So that we can learn in ourselves, in our minds and hearts, our spirits, to allow harmony to arise out of chaos and disharmony. We need to have the messiness, or we will never create anything worthwhile. Before I do these Wednesday lives, I cannot, in good conscience, plan what I'm going to say. I may get a hint of an idea. I did get a word, disharmony, before I came on. But if I don't allow the whole messy thing to just land on my lap and have the experience of the harmony arising out of it, it won't mean anything to me or you. It'll just be another lecture, which I hope is not what you're receiving from this right now. I hope that you're looking at your life, as messy as it might be, and knowing that there is such perfection in the messiness of it, and that you are fully capable of evolving harmony out of the disharmony. That you are fully capable of being with the messiness of your life. And sometimes that messiness can be scary. We can feel so anxious in it because everything seems to be driving in a different direction. And even then, to be able to embrace all the disharmony of it, not make it wrong, even if it's scary, even if we're afraid of the outcomes of it, to embrace the messiness and disharmony. Take a breath into it, be with it, relax with it as much as you can, and feel the grace of a harmonic beginning to arise out of it. It may not solve the problems that are in that messiness, but you will experience all the instruments playing together in your orchestra led by a master conductor. And then you will be able to solve the riddles and problems that exist. Because life is life. Thank you for receiving this transmission. Thank you for everybody that's here with me, sending me waves and hearts and love, and enjoy your messiness. see you in 2 weeks. Maybe some things in between. Be well. Lots of love.